Greetings, lovely Heartland family. Welcome back to Next Door, your favorite location to fully immerse yourself in Heartland. I'm so happy to have you here for Ty Borden's big comeback in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 of the most moving and eagerly anticipated scenes in the entire series. Yes, that is what I said. Ty is finally back after years of suffering, healing, and the heartbreak that began in Season 14. Today, we'll take a step-by-step look at how the show brings him home, Amy and Lindy's reactions, and what it means for Tim, Lou, Jack, and Georgie. Naturally, we will also get into Amy and Ty's intimate, deeply personal conversation, which has the potential to completely alter Heartland's future. However, before we begin this emotional journey, please like this video, comment below with your thoughts on Ty's return, and subscribe to Next Flying to ensure that you never miss a single heartbeat of the Heartland story. Let's get started now. We must return to the beginning of everything before we can truly appreciate Ty's return. When Ty Borden first rode into Heartland, he was a troubled teen who was looking for a new purpose and was scarred by a difficult past. Instead, he discovered a home, a family, and a love that would become the foundation of the series. We witnessed him transform from a quiet, misunderstood young man into a man of strength, compassion, and unwavering loyalty over the course of time. Heartland's heart was his love story with Amy. It was nothing short of magical to watch them fall in love, get married, and start a life with their daughter Lindy. Therefore, when Ty unexpectedly passed away in Season 14 as a result of complications from a gunshot wound, fans were left devastated. It was a loss for all of us, not just Amy and Lindy when he left. The series' tone was altered as a result. While raising Lindy with courage and a sadness she could not shake, we watched Amy learn how to live without the love of her life. Therefore, when rumors began to circulate regarding his potential return in Season 19, fans all over the world wondered, how was it possible for Heartland to ever bring him back in a way that felt genuine, respectful, and true to the story? Additionally, Heartland went above and beyond those expectations. The episode begins with atmosphere rather than action. Over the familiar Heartland ranch, the sun rises, lighting the beloved fields in a golden glow. Amy is looking through an old journal inside the house when a picture of Ty appears. She gives it a longer than usual stare. It almost seems as though he's attempting to reach her because of how alive it is. She goes to a part of the ranch that she hasn't been to in a long time, a place where she remembers riding with Ty later that day. She tells Jack that she had a dream that seemed too real about him. Jack listens intently without expressing any opinion other than a thoughtful silence that suggests something more substantial. The horse that bonded Ty and Amy years ago begins suddenly to neigh loudly, sensing something beyond human comprehension. When we see it, that is. At the property's edge, a truck arrives. The camera cuts to wind-whipped dust. Boots slowly appear in front of you. Amy's expression when she turns around says it all. She is speechless at what she is seeing. Ty Borden is still alive. The world also stops. Amy is frozen as Ty steps into the light. She has tears in her eyes, but she doesn't move her feet. She seems to want to run to him, but her mind is still ensnared in years of loss and doubt. Ty says, "It's me, Amy," softly. "I'm back." When she realizes that he is real, she collapses into his arms and slowly makes her way to him. She reaches up to touch his face. But how does he get here? How could this be? Everyone is shocked by the response. Ty never really died. Due to severe complications, doctors put him into a medically induced coma after he collapsed from the blood clot. However, a hospital communication error caused everyone to believe he had not survived. The reality? Ty, who suffered from partial amnesia, spent the last few years recuperating in a specialized facility. Until a few months ago, he had no idea who he was. He spent time looking, healing, and waiting for the day when he could finally return home once his memory returned. That time has come, and now it is. There are layers of love, confusion, and pain in Amy's response. She raised Lindy on her own for many years, creating a life Dee could only remember from pictures and memories. And suddenly, He's here now, real, breathing, speaking. Her eyes speak volumes. She feels cheated by fate and robbed of time, but she's also overwhelmed with gratitude. She informs him, "This was in my dreams. I simply did not believe I would survive." Ty focuses. He says to her, "I never stopped loving you," as he holds her hands. "Even when I couldn't recall your name, I could still feel you." Their reunification is not your typical fairy tale. It's fresh. It is filled with pain and healing. But most of all, it is filled with optimism. Even though the past is over, Amy knows that there are still opportunities in the future. And it's possible that they will be able to reconnect once more. Lindy's reaction when she first sees Ty, her father, standing there is unclouded by the complexities of adult grief. She is still a young child, unaffected by Amy's years of suffering and confusion. Her eyes widen with curiosity as she stares at the man before her. Even though she doesn't fully comprehend the significance of this moment, she can still feel its immense magnitude. After a brief pause, she slowly approaches him and extends her tiny hand to touch his arm. There is only an instinctive need to connect, not any fear or hesitation. "Daddy?" she asks quietly, and the word comes out of her mouth with the gentleness of someone who only knows love and warmth, not the sadness that has accompanied Amy's absence from him. Ty drops to her level on his knees, his eyes welling with tears. He whispers, "It's me, Lindy," as he gently touches her cheek. "I am your father." Not quite sure what to make of it all, Lindy looks at him with a blink. She tilts her head and examines him as a child would, before a sudden realization appears in her face. She leaps into his arms without warning, her petite frame perfectly supporting his. She makes the innocent comment, "You're warm," which cuts through the weight of the moment. Angels are warm, according to Mom. Ty's heart literally breaks open like that. Ty's return does not concern Lindy with the lost time. Simply put, it's about a father's presence, a hug between parents, and a reunion that seems like it was always meant to be. She may not fully understand the significance of this reunion, but to Ty, her response is a reminder of the purity and power of a child's love, uncomplicated and unconditional. More than any other scene, this one represents hope and new beginnings. Not only for Ty and Amy, but also for their infant daughter. Lou's reaction to Ty's return is one of shock, relief, and deep conflict. In the years since Ty left, she has gone through a lot juggling being a mother, a businesswoman, and Heartland's caretaker. Her heart catches in her throat when she first sees Ty standing in the doorway, as if time had stopped. She says to herself, "This can't be real." She has witnessed Amy's grief, including the agonizing years spent raising Lindy without Ty and the private tears shed. She felt as though everything she had learned to deal with had been violated when she saw him alive standing there. She is enraged, angry at the lost years, at the suffering Amy went through, at the perception that Ty's return has arrived too late. But then she notices the same look in his eyes she saw when he first joined their family. Love, vulnerability, and a deep desire to right wrongs when she realizes that Ty is not here to undo the past, but to create a future. Her anger begins to subside. When she says, "We had a funeral," her voice cracks. "Ty, we moved on." Instead of being an accusation, her words are more of a statement of the truth. But Lou can't help but feel a glimmer of hope despite the hurt that remains in her heart. Ty is her brother-in-law, the one who supported her during her darkest hours and fought for his family. She comes forward and embraces him. The warmth of the embrace is both a sign of her own healing and a source of relief for her. She whispers, "You came back. All that matters right now is that..." Lou may have her reservations, but the joy of seeing him again, the possibility of healing old wounds, and the promise of a family coming back together outweighs her uncertainty. Lou's hope for a future, in which everything is restored to its original state, begins to take root at that moment. Jack has always served as the Heartland family's solid foundation. Amy and Lou have relied on his experience and wisdom to get them through the most difficult times. He also has to deal with Ty's return, his friend, son-in-law, and the person who helped the ranch get through the toughest years. Jack doesn't feel anything at all when he first sees Ty. There was no big reunion. Jack stands frozen, his eyes fixed on the man in front of him, the man who is both his son in every important way and the father of his beloved grandchild. The weight of the moment hangs heavy in the still air. Jack once believed he would never witness this moment. The raw, undeniable truth that is only a few feet away comes into conflict with the years of grief, the silent prayers, and the aching absence. Ty is present. He exists. And he is at home. They don't move for a very long time. Everything that can't be expressed in words fills the long silence. Jack then takes a small step forward. His weathered hand is firm but slightly trembling as it extends. The years of ranch life and personal tragedy that have hardened his face just enough to allow a fleeting smile to emerge. "You look like hell," Jack says with that characteristic bluntness that only he can use to convey affection. It's his way of saying, "I've missed you more than I can say, and it's not meant to hurt." He makes a half smile with the corners of his mouth raised, but his eyes tell the whole story. They shine with a quiet relief and a joy that is so profound that it cannot be expressed, moist from unshed tears. Jack's heart is breaking open with gratitude beneath the rough exterior. Ty's return isn't just a miracle, it's a restoration. It indicates that the void that his death has left in their family is not as pervasive as they had feared. That despite the fact that the pain is real, it does not have to define their lives forever. Their long, unguarded embrace begins as they fall into one another's arms. Performing nothing. No deception. Merely two men clinging to something they both lost and believed they would never regain. Ty finds more than just comfort in that hug. He finds forgiveness, unspoken but deeply felt. Acceptance, encased in calloused hands, and the still strength that only Jack can provide. Jack finally says, his voice thick with years of emotion, "Your family, son? Has always been. Will always be." There is no need to make extravagant statements. It is sufficient to have Jack's presence and unwavering stability. He doesn't say much, but his actions and glances speak volumes. He is the foundation that will support Ty and the rest of the family through whatever comes next at this very moment. Ty has returned. And all that matters to Jack is that something changes later on when Georgie walks through Heartland's front door and sees Ty for the first time since his return. Her breath catches in her throat as she remains still for a beat. He is standing across the room as if he never left, as if time has collapsed to bring him back. However, time has passed. Georgie is no longer the girl who used to look up to Ty with wide eyes and feel like she needs his advice and security. She now possesses her own strength. She has made a life out of hardship, learned how to make difficult choices, and learned how to deal with a world that sometimes didn't make sense to her, without the person who once helped her understand it. Still, the years vanish in that instant. The feelings surge at an uncontrollable rate. Before she even realizes she is moving, she is crying and running to him across the space like her heart has taken control. As she wraps her arms around him, she chokes out, her voice catching. "I never stopped hoping. Not even once in a while." Ty holds her like he will never let go, by tightly encircling her. He murmurs, his voice tinged with emotion, "You've made me proud, Georgie." It goes beyond a reunion. It's a mirror that shows Georgie not only who she used to be, but also who she has become. When she didn't believe in herself, Ty believed in her. She also realizes, standing in his arms, that his faith has never truly left her. She still carries it in her decisions, her bravery, and the quiet strength she's discovered in his absence. The fact that the past they shared can never fully return, but it is also not gone, is a bittersweet revelation. Georgie finds not only her mentor once more at this reunion, but also a reminder of how far she has come. A reminder that family does not disappear. Rather, it changes and occasionally returns when you least expect it. Amy and Ty sit by the river, their river, later that evening, under the velvety darkness. As if waiting for this long-awaited moment, the stars above Heartland glimmer softly. The crickets chorus and the gentle murmur of water envelope the still air. The world seems quiet, reverent, and paused. They sit close together without touching, their silence thick with memories, love, and grief. Amy finally breaks the silence, speaking steady and barely audible. She states, "I don't know if I can just pick up where we left off." A lot has transpired. A lot of time has passed. Ty gently reaches for her hand, his fingers brushing against hers as if he were to hold on too tightly and she would vanish. He says, "I know. I am aware that it is not that easy. However, Amy, I never stopped loving you. Not even when I was unable to identify you. You always stood by my side. In this location." Over his heart, he taps his chest. With tears in her eyes, Amy turns to face him. There is so much love and so much pain there. She admits, "I don't know how to move forward. However, maybe we can get it done together. I've learned to live without you, but maybe we no longer need to." Ty gives a nod and now grips her hand more tightly, as if to secure them both in this beautiful, fragile moment. He says, "One day at a time. That is all we require. However, I will never leave. I'm present. FRC. To Lindy. And if we have a future, we will find it." They don't have to make any promises as they sit in the silence that follows. There is no assurance. There is no perfect strategy. However, hope is something neither of them has experienced in a long time. A hope that love can come back, that wounds can get better, that despite the uncertainty of the future, it is still worth holding on to together. The emotional, powerful, and unforgettable return of Ty Borden in Heartland Season 19, Episode 1 is here, Heartland Family. This episode was everything we had been waiting for, from Amy's tears to Lindy's innocence to Jack's quiet strength to Tim's buried heart. However, it is now your turn. We need to hear from you. How did you feel when Ty came back? Which event most affected you? Furthermore, do you think Amy and Ty have a chance of creating a new life together? Please share your thoughts in the section below. We read everyone, and we value your participation in this community. To ensure that you never miss our deep dives, episode breakdowns, and all of the Heartland content that you adore, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Next Flying, and press the notification bell. I'm Emma, and I'm grateful that you once more flew with us. Keep going strong, keep loving, and never stop believing in second chances until the next time. For more updates, behind-the-scenes moments, and everything Heartland, don't forget to subscribe to our channel next door. Hit that like button, turn on the notification bell, and stay connected with us for more emotional moments, character deep dives, and exclusive content you won't want to miss. Let's keep this journey going together.